Hi, welcome to Gamers Web. My name's Mark, and in this video I'm going to take a look at the British Commonwealth Starter Army for Konflikt'47 from Warlord Games. This is a brand new product, and it's in shops now. It seems pretty good. So let's get stuck in. Okay, so this army gives you a starting force for your British Commonwealth, rather than a full army. It's just a starter, as it says on the box. So let's have a look what we get. Okay, right, so turn it that way around. Okay, so it contains one platoon commander in Galahad armor, which is this cool guy here. It's one of the best miniatures I've seen in the range so far. There's one Mark 1 automated squad of infantry here. There's a Mark 2 automated squad, heavily armoured. And then we have our squad of Galahad infantrymen. We have a Percival, which is our big walker. We've got a Humber, which is armoured with, I think it's got a Tesla cannon on top of it. And then we've got assembly guides, decals, rift dice, and order dice, and plastic and MDF bases. So let's just crank this up and we'll have a look at what's inside. Okay, so let's have a quick look at what we get. I have checked that everything's here, so I have had a quick look inside. So it won't arrive like this, it'll arrive all neat and tidy, because the guys at Warlord do a great job at packing stuff, but I'm useless at putting things back in boxes. Right, okay, so we get our instruction guides. So we get one for the Humber, we get one for the Mark IIs, we get one for the Galahad, and then we get one for the Mark 1s. They're all quite easy to assemble. They're all either one or two pieces to actually put together on the kit, apart from the Percival. And then we get one for the Percival, which is, as you can see, quite a few parts. We get our bases for our models, including our 18L base for our walker. We get our decals for our infantrymen, as well as for our vehicles as well as our infantrymen. Then we get larger bases here for our three guys from the Mark IIs. At least I think they're for the Mark IIs. Seem to have a lot of bases here for a few figures. I don't understand why. The more bases, I've definitely got far too many bases. Oh well, it's always a bonus. We get our order dice and rift dice. They use the black rift dice, and the brown order dice, as in keeping with bolt action. We get our Morellas. Pack this. Thank you very much, Morella. We get. I'm jumping ahead of myself here. We get our is that a Mark 1s? Yeah, they're the Mark 1s, I think. Yeah, they're the Mark 1 robots, the Tommies. This will be the Mark 2s, I think. Yes, that's the Mark 2s. They're quite big. You can see by the legs. The legs on one of those is almost as big as the Mark 1. And then that's the Galahad, along with the limited edition figure. The figures on these are absolutely amazing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put them all on bases, and then we can have a proper look at them. And then we get our Humber, which comes on 2 sprues, which is quite simple to put together, as most of the kits from Italian and Warlord are. And then we get our resin parts. So we've got our Percival here, which is our big walker, which we shall have a look at that once it's assembled. And then we've also got the turret for our Humber. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly put together the Humber and the Percival, and I'll do maybe one or two of the walkers. My brain's gone. It's very early. It's just after Christmas. I'll do probably one or two of the automatons, and then we'll get back, and I shall see you in a moment. Right, okay, so I've not assembled anything yet. I thought I changed my mind, and we'll have a quick look at the resin before I do. Right, so this is the turret of the Humber. As you can see, there are some little things at the bottom here which need clipping off. The easiest way to do it is if you start with your clippers. If I can find where I put mine. No, I can't, so they'll wait. Oh yes, they're here. Our clippers are here. Right, so if you get your clippers, and we'll zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Right, so if you can see these little gates here, that's where the resin's been poured in. So what you need to do is, instead of just going straight in and taking a big chunk, you've got to be careful because you might actually cut into the resin. What I normally do is I just whittle this down like that. So I don't do it in one go. I get as close as I can, so it's not actually, as you can see, it's not actually touching the resin itself. And especially on an angle like this, you've got to be quite careful, because even if you're using high quality snips, you still could run the risk of cutting into the model. Now I've got that down quite well though. As you can see, he just needs a little bit of coherence with a knife or a file. So I'll use an emery board on that later, and I'll do the other two. So nice clean casting. Apart from that, forgive the noise, my cat has decided that he wants to get involved in filming for some reason. Okay, so that's a quick look at that one, and we'll have a quick look at the... Okay, give over. Right, so it's amazing what happens when you throw an 80mm base at a kitten and he runs off. Right, and no, I didn't hurt him. I wouldn't dream of hurting him. He's my best pal, believe it or not. Right, so this is the Percival. You've got the legs, you've got the torso, you've got these weapon pods like this. Let me just put it so it's a bit centered. Not much cleaning up to do, just like where the pouring gates have been. Those are about the only things that need cleaning up. That's the way up it goes. That's the top of the body. Some of these things like this here, where the resin's dried and cured, that's, you know, you can just flake that off with your fingertips. Also, you've got little, I think, like little pour gates there. They just need cleaning off, but you've got to be very careful when you're cleaning them that you don't go in too hard, or else you'll actually damage the model itself. And then we've got a wee baggie here with the Tesla cannon and the turret, the sensors and stuff like that. Now this is an automated kit. There's no one inside this. Sorry, I'm falling over. There's no one inside the Percival, so it doesn't have any hatches for your people to pop the heads out of it. So that's the actual radio control part, I think. Right, okay, so I'm going to get these assembled because the automatons are really tricky to assemble, and then I'll get back and we'll have a quick look at the models. So I shall be back in a little while. Okay, welcome back. Right, that took a lot longer than I thought it was going to do, because the automatons are a pain in the neck to assemble. They're probably right up there with the clankers from Star Wars Legion. They're a very difficult kit to assemble, but I'm going to go through each kit individually, and the pieces that I found problemsome and not, I'm going to look at the instructions as well. So start off with the Percival. Here we have the Percival's instructions. As you can see, it's quite simple. So I'm going to point out very quickly where I had the issues. Right, so this has been mentioned online on the forums on Facebook for the Warlord and for Konflikt'. This part here is made out of the grey resin. Everything else, and that part, everything else is the Warlord resin, the new Wonder resin. Same with these parts here, they're the Warlord, the old resin, that's the new resin. That part doesn't fit in there, that part doesn't fit in there without major sanding down. And because of the way the actual kit's designed, it doesn't work properly without you going through a lot of hassle. So let's have a quick look at the kit anyway. So once it's together, it looks amazing. But as you can see, this is the Percival. Nice looking model. It's quite tall. I'll get some more pictures of this put in the end of the video. But I've not glued the body together so we can have a proper look at it. Besides, there's bits that need filling on it. So this part here isn't even glued in, it's just pushed in because, and you can see there's a big seam here where the grey resin won't meet because I've not got it completely sanded down. I don't like that old resin. I can understand why people, go on about the new resin because it's really, really good. It's very nice to work with, but I don't like that. Overall, other than that, kit goes together like a dream. Not a problem at all. So that's a quick look at the Percival. Nice model, love it. The one that I had the most problem with, believe it or not, was the Humber, because I'll get to the instructions for the Humber first, and then we can talk through it. Right, so we move this guy over here. So if you look at the instructions, you've got all the things here, and it says, oh, the E, we put 43 to the main body, or 64 and 45 to 44 and 45 go onto the chassis. Yeah, that's great. But when you actually look at the sprues, they're not numbered. You've got to turn back constantly to the first 2 pages where all the sprues are laid out on the photographs. They're all numbered on here, corresponding to the actual kit itself. All the things that are in orange you don't use. There's no use for them at all in this. You could use them for conversions or kit bashing or what have you, but they're no use in this kit. So that said, I went through all the parts and got everything assembled, and even despite doing dry fits and using really nice contact cement, which I normally use, I was still having issues. So I've got, this is the body of the Humber. It's together all right, but I'm going to have to go in with some plastic cement from here, because I've got a couple of gaps that I'm not happy with. There's a big seam gap there that I'm not happy with, but a little tiny bit of Vallejo plastic cement will sort that out. Again, Warlord resin. The new stuff, fantastic. The old stuff was a real pain in the neck to get in. That's not even glued in, it's just pushed in. So it's that tight, and it's been filed down, but looks great. So there's your turret on top. Didn't build the second turret because I've no need for it. So nice looking Humber. I always get those two confused. I don't know why, because one's German, one's British. Okay, so next up we're going to have a look at the clankers, the Mark 1s. So I did all 5 of them. I just finished the last one, and naturally, because these are made of resin, all these kits need to be assembled using super glue. You cannot assemble them with polystyrene cement. It will not work. They will never stick together. You need to use super glue or another kind of cyanoacrylate or an epoxy resin glue, but super glue is probably your best bet. And also, if you can get hold of some, I'll leave a link in the description for this stuff. You can get 6 tins of this for £12, this super glue activator. It's very good stuff. I ran out of mine, and Roland very kindly gave me another one, so that's my last one. I'm gonna have to get some more. Okay, so I'm missing, there he is. So they're pretty static in the poses, and they're all armed with the same weapon. The arms are a nightmare to put on. If we look at the instruction for the clankers, if I can find where I've put it, for the Mark 1s, as you can see, it's just the body, the 2 arms, 2 legs, gun and head. The easiest way to assemble them, I found this because I did this with the battle droids from Star Wars Legion, is glue this leg or that leg, dealer's choice, whichever you want to choose, onto your base first. and then work around from that. After you've glued that and it's completely dried, use activator if you want, but let it dry completely. Then put a little bit of glue in the well for the actual leg. Spray that part with activator, push it in, hold it, and hope that it stays. And then you'll be left with a one-legged torso. Then you can carefully position the other leg in place and glue that in, and then do the same with the arms as well, glue the arms in. Although what I did with the last three was I actually glued the arms onto the weapons and then manipulated them into the sockets on the models, which I'll show you. So the poses are a bit crap. I don't like the poses on these, and I never liked these models when they came out in metal. They're a lot easier to work with in resin. Although that said, I suppose you could actually bend the arms quite better in metal. But all 5 of those are done. They'll go all right. They'll be okay. So next up we have the big boys, which are the Mark II automatons. And I don't know where I've put the sheet for the Mark IIs. It might still be in the box. Let me just check. Yes, it is. Right. So the Mark IIs are much bigger than the Mark Is. So side by side, there's a Mark I, and for those who are interested, there's a Mark II, and there's a Mark I just falling on the floor. Much bigger. These are about the same size as a Schreck-Wulfen or one of the Ursa Spurs. They're quite big. Right, so the 3 of these guys, there's 2 of them looks like they're carrying Vickers machine guns, heavy machine guns. Sorry, not Vickers, a Bren gun. I'm not exactly sure what they're armed with because I've not looked through the rules yet for them, because literally I've only just opened the box today for the first time properly. I did check everything was there, but I've not actually checked the army list. Right, okay, so 3 different poses, 2 different weapons, and the big cannon. They turned out really well. They're nice, and they were quite simple, and they went together a lot easier than the smaller ones. There's the other 2 guys. They went through a lot better than the smaller ones. The only things I've got to do on these guys is I didn't clean the helmets up because I was in a rush to try and get the helmets clean, the models out. So I'm just going to need to quickly file that down. And finally, save the best till last, as they say. Right, now, the Galahads. These are definitely, by far, the best models in the game that I've come across so far. These are amazing. The detail's fantastic. The sculpts are outstanding. As you can see, the white on the base is from using the super glue activator. But they go together really well. They're just arms and guns, and that's it. Okay, so as you can see, attention to detail on these guys is amazing. Sorry about my cat. He's wanting fed yet again, even though he's just been fed. Right, so very good overall. An amazing set of kits. I can't wait to paint these and then get them on the table. There's very little fuss with these. This guy, I think, is probably one of the best models that Warlord have ever done. And I don't say that lightly because they've done some amazing stuff. This guy is awesome. Alright, so there we go. I've got a little bit of artifacts on the screen. I think my camera needs my phone needs a reboot, but great stuff. Right, so that was my quick look at Konflikt 47 British Commonwealth Starter Set. Now, I think it's £110 on the Warlord site, but if you shop around, you can pick this up for like £88. I got this from Warlord Games, and it cost me £88. Originally, I was meant to be getting the Soviets, but of course the Soviets were waylaid because of issues with them. But anyway, it's available now, and I really am looking forward to getting these painted up and playing with them. Right, so as always, I've been Mark. Thank you for tuning in. We're coming towards the end of the year, so I'd like to wish everyone a very happy and safe 2026. I hope it's a good year for you, that you get lots of gaming, lots of painting, lots of modelling, and above all, lots of fun time with friends. That's what makes the hobby so much enjoyable and keeps me in it. Look after yourselves, stay safe no matter where you are, and we'll see you in the new year. Thanks, and bye-bye.